All right, thank you everyone for being here. We're going to begin the formal meeting of the Phoenix City Council for May 28th, 2014. We appears we have a quorum of our council and a quorum of our Assisted Housing Governing Board. Do we have any council members who are appearing telephonically? Are they on yet? Is Councilman DeCiccio on telephonically? He will be joining us. Okay, great. All right, so we will have, first we'll have invocation, then pledge, and then we'll have a meeting of the Assisted Housing Governing Board before we begin our formal meeting of the City Council. So we'll begin our meeting today with an invocation. The invocation will be by Dr. Thomas Haney, pastor of Desert Christian Fellowship. Pastor Haney, thank you for being here. Please rise.
Thank you, Mayor. Would you all join me in prayer? Dear Heavenly Father, we stand here again asking for your help with another financial crisis in Phoenix. Thank you for providing the increase in revenues and monetary resources to lift us out of the housing recession crisis of 2008 to 2011. We prayed and you responded. This time we ask for your guidance in helping the city overcome the present financial crisis, primarily caused by our city leaders. I would ask for an extreme amount of light and very little heat as the council discusses and resolves such issues as generous pensions versus no raises, payments to those who are not working at any present job versus hiring needed workers. Help the council to not lose sight of the fact they were selected by the voters and allowed to serve by your providence and the sustaining of their lives, and they need to make decisions that will be good for the entire city. Give a level-headed approach to the needs and concerns of the city and the guidance that will allow this city to prosper and accomplish remarkable things. Lead our council to the peak of their abilities and decision-making, and thus allow Phoenix to rise to a better level with more equitability. In the name of my Savior, Jesus Christ, amen.
Thank you very much, Pastor Haney. We did have a special request by our Vice Mayor before we do the Pledge of Allegiance. Vice Mayor.
Mayor, if we could do a moment of silence for Officer Cabrera of the Salt River Police, who was shot and killed in the line of duty this weekend.
Thank you very much, Vice Mayor. So we'll have a moment of silence, please. All right, thank you, Vice Mayor, for requesting that. We'll now move on to the Pledge of Allegiance led by Councilman Bill Gates.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, we'll start our business portion of today's meeting with a meeting of the Assisted Housing Governing Board. We are joined today by Mr. Amador Lopez, who is our public member. So can we call that meeting to order, Mr. City Clerk?
Board Member DeCiccio. Board Member Gallego.
Here.
Board Member Gates.
Here.
Board Member Lopez.
Here.
Board Member Nowakowski.
Here.
Board Member Pastor.
Here.
Board Member Valenzuela. Board Member Williams.
Here.
Vice Chair Waring. Here. Chairman Stanton.
Here. Can we have a motion on the minutes of the April 2nd, 2014 meeting?
Second.
We have a motion. We have a second. Any comments? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? That item passes unanimously. Mr. Lopez, you have a motion on item number 4, a resolution to apply for and accept $207,000 of public housing family self-sufficiency coordinator grant awarded by HUD.
Yeah, I think it should be approved. It's a great program. A lot of people get benefit from it, and
Second.
I move to approve.
Thank you very much. So Mr. Lopez's motion is in favor of the proposed resolution. Councilman Williams has seconded that motion. Any comments by members of this council? Councilman DeCiccio, have you joined the meeting?
I have. Thank you, Mayor.
We are in the portion of the meeting with the Assisted Housing Governing Board. Mr. Lopez, Representative Lopez, has put on the table a resolution in support of $207,000 of public housing family self-sufficiency coordinator grant awarded by HUD. So it's an application for support of a grant application. So the motion is in favor. We have a second. All in favor say aye.
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 Any opposed? That item passes unanimously. That completes all of the business for the Assisted Housing Governing Board. That meeting is now adjourned. Thank you, Mr. Lopez, for your
Thank you.
time and your public service to
Thank
this community.
Thank you.
We'll now formally begin the council meeting, the formal city council meeting for May 28th, 2014. I'll ask the city clerk to now call the roll for the formal meeting.
Councilman DeCiccio.
Here.
Councilwoman Gallego.
Here.
Councilman Gates.
Here.
Councilman Noakowski.
Here.
Councilwoman Pastor.
Here.
Councilman Valenzuela.
Here.
Councilwoman Williams.
Here.
Vice Mayor Waring.
Here.
Mayor Stanton.
Here, we have meeting minutes from April 2nd, 2014. Councilman Valenzuela, have you had a chance to review the formal meeting minutes?
I have, and I'll move for approval.
Second.
We have a motion, we have a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Passes unanimously. We're lucky enough to have an interpreter here with us for our meeting. Would you introduce yourself for the audience, please?
Buenas tardes, mi nombre es Leticia Márquez. Si necesita asistencia o traducción en español, por favor, véame. Gracias.
Thank you. City Clerk, would you please read the 24-hour paragraph?
The titles of the following ordinance and resolution numbers on the agenda were available to the public at least 24 hours prior to this council meeting and therefore may be read by title or agenda item only. Ordinances number G5917 through G5920, S40705 and S40837 through S40927, and resolutions number 21229.
Thank you very much. We now move on to boards and commissions. Do we have a motion to approve boards and commission nominations?
Motion to approve Mayor's Board and Commission nominations.
Second.
We have a motion, we have a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? That item passes unanimously. We do have members of the public who are here to be sworn in for boards and commissions. We'll do that at my right, your left. I will swear you in, and then if you would please come behind the dais, and I think the council members would like to thank you in advance for your service to the people of Phoenix. All right, so I will ask each of you to raise your right hand.
That's right. Moving right into it, right?
Do solemnly swear. That I will support the Constitution. Of the United States. And the Constitution and laws. Of the state of Arizona. That I will bear true faith. And allegiance to the same. And defend them against all enemies. Foreign and domestic. That I will faithfully. And impartially. Discharge the duties. Of the office of. According to the best of my ability. So help me God. Thank you for your service in advance.
Congratulations. Good to see you. Congratulations. Thank you for your service. Thanks a lot. Congratulations.
There's no comments on that.
Thank you again in advance for your service to the people of the city of Phoenix. Service on boards and commissions is very, very important. Next, we'll move on to liquor licenses. Vice Mayor, do you have a motion on liquor licenses?
Motion to approve items 1 through 11.
Second.
We have a motion. We have a second. We have cards not wishing to speak. Just looking to make sure they're all in favor. They appear to be all in favor of the proposed liquor licenses. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Those items pass unanimously. Next item is a proposed liquor license disapproval, item number 12. This is in Councilwoman Pastor's district, Monte Vista Liquors, Councilman Pastor, do you wish to have a staff presentation?
Yes.
Okay, can we get a staff presentation on Monte Vista Liquors?
Mayor, members of the council, my name is Denise Archibald with the City Clerk Department. This request is for an ownership transfer of a Series 9 liquor license from Liquor Cabinet, Inc. to J.R.R. Associates, LLC for a liquor store doing business as Monte Vista Liquors. This location was previously licensed for liquor sales and is currently operating with an interim permit. Consideration may be given to the applicant's personal qualifications. Staff recommends disapproval of this application based on a police department recommendation for disapproval.
Thank you very much. I do have Detective Westfall from the Phoenix Police Department available to speak if requested. Councilman Pastor, do you want to hear from the detective?
Yes, please.
Detective, you can please come forward and provide testimony on the record on this item. Thank you for being here.
My name's Detective Westfall. I am the liquor license and abatement detective for the Mountain View Precinct at 2075 East Maryland. Mr. Aronki has been the manager for a liquor store called the A1 Liquor Wheel, which is located at 3445 East McDowell, which is also in our precinct. He's been the manager since 2003. This business is owned by the Aronki Family Trust, which is comprised of his family and his father. He is a beneficiary of this trust. During the time he managed this liquor store between 2003 and 2010, there were numerous liquor violations to the store which have been documented with the Arizona Department of Liquor and Licensing Control. This included furnishing to underage people, failure to request identification, offer to sell used drugs on the premises, and unlawful gambling in the premises. These are violations that were sustained by the Department of Liquor Licensing and fines were paid. I did do a personal interview with Mr. Aronki, referenced the application for this location. When I did the application, I observed located on the counter a loaded firearm in plain view and easy reach of anybody who could reach for it at the time. I advised him that the firearm needed to be put away and shouldn't be out in plain view, so I considered this a safety violation. When I questioned Mr. Aronki about the violations at the liquor wheel when he was the manager, he said that he was capable of running this new liquor store without incident, that he had grown up, and that he might be able to handle it this time. Since the last violation was in 2010, I am concerned about the fact that he would be running a liquor store in the area of 16th Street, McDowell, which already has a high saturation of liquor stores, smoke shops, close to schools, and also a relatively high crime rate for our precinct. Questions? Or?
Thank you very much,
Okay.
Detective, for that very thorough report. Is there any questions for Detective Westfall? Okay, is the applicant here? I do not have a card from the applicant.
He's here.
Okay.
I know he's here, but that's it. I don't think he's over here.
Well, I want to make sure it's clear. I just asked if the applicant was here. Is the applicant in fact here? Are you not wishing to provide testimony on this item? Okay. As a result, we're going to take as fully accurate the information provided by our Detective Westfall. Okay. Councilman Pastor.
So my motion is to disapprove item 12 based on the police department's disapproval, concerned with the applicant's history of liquor violation while managing A1 Liquor Wheel and failure to maintain a safe store environment as observed during the police interview.
We have a motion for disapproval. We have a second. For purposes of creating a clear record, I do want to make note that the applicant is here but has chosen not to provide testimony on his own behalf for the liquor license. Roll call.
DeCiccio.
Councilman
Yes.
DeCiccio? Okay.
Gallego.
Yes.
Gates.
Yes.
Nowakowski. Pastor.
Yes.
Valenzuela. Williams.
Yes.
Waring.
Yes.
Mayor Stanton.
Yes, so the motion for denial was passed unanimously by the City Council. Thank you, Detective Westfall, for taking the time for that thorough report, as well as taking time to be here for today's meeting. And we hope we are successful on this one at the State Liquor Board. We will be monitoring this one very, very closely That was pretty shocking testimony that was provided in terms of the issue relative to weapons. All right, next one is item number 13. It's a public hearing on a proposed Alameda Road and 17th Avenue annexation. So I am now going to open the public hearing on item number 13. Are there any cards on item number 13? Is anyone here present to provide testimony as to the Alameda Road and 17th Avenue annexation? Going once, going twice. The public hearing is now closed. My understanding is that we'll have a vote on this, but not today, at a later hearing. Item number 14 is the proposed cable television license renewal for Quest Broadband Services, DBA, CenturyLink. I will now open the public hearing relative to that proposed license renewal. We do have one card that would wish to testify on that item. Leonard Clark, did you provide testimony as to the proposed license renewal for CenturyLink? Please, good to see you.
Thank you, Mayor and council members. Yes, my name is Leonard Clark. I'm a citizen of Phoenix, and I know this seems like a rather mundane item and people are just going to go through it, but I think that our cable, since we've come out with the 1998, the Telecommunications Act, or was it either 1996 or 1998, where whereby supposedly we're able to use the municipal cable network for our public safety, fire, and all of these things. I think that's great. As a citizen, sometimes I will be letting you know in the future, because I like to, believe it or not, there are those of us who actually do watch you at home when we can't make it here, especially your policy sessions. I know that's hard to believe, but when I call in, I'm hoping that the customer service will be, I can find out. Sometimes it seems like when I go to hit on demand or whatever, it won't come up, these types of issues, and I just ask that you make sure that the hardworking staff that we already have with this private company, cable company, make sure that they're responsive to citizens such as myself who want to use this service to its utmost, saving us the time having to drive over here in the heat and do all of these other things. So thank you, and I do support your motion.
Thank you very much, Mr. Clark. Any other individuals here to provide testimony on the proposed license renewal for CenturyLink? Going once, going twice. The public hearing is now closed. Again, my understanding is no action will be taken at today's meeting at a future meeting. Next, we'll move on to G ordinances. Do we need the legal title? Mr. City Clerk.
Item 15, ordinance G5917, an ordinance amending section 4-114E, section 4-173B, sections 4-174A and B, section 4-179B, and section 4-180B of the Phoenix City Code to adjust the 2014-15 rates and charges program at Phoenix Sky Harbor International Airport effective July 1st, 2014, and making some conforming changes.
All right, thank you very much. So do we have a motion on item number 15?
Mayor,
Yes.
knowing staff has worked very closely with the airlines, and they are in agreement, and we are still one of the lowest cost facilities in the nation, I would move approval.
Second.
We have a motion. We have a second. Councilman DeCiccio, did you have comments on item number 15, the proposed airline rates and charges program?
No, Mayor, I'm going to be voting against it. I'm just concerned about this city just being bent lately on this fee and increase and tax increase model that everybody's been working on here. And I do have some concerns with the direction that the city's going in when it comes to raising fees across the board, whether it's these fees or fees at our mountain preserves for parking. That has me concerned right now, Mayor. It just seems like to be an open door that we haven't seen in years at the city.
All right, thank you very much. Councilman Waring, did you have any additional comments? Okay. Is Danny Murphy here? Are you able to provide a short summation as to why staff is recommending these charges?
Thank you, Mayor and Council. Each spring, the city staff develops a budget for the upcoming year's operation and maintenance at Sky Harbor International Airport. The airport's cost to maintain these facilities are used to calculate the airline's rates. Under FAA regulations, these rates recover the airline's use of the airport. We work with all the airlines numerous times throughout the year We develop rate books for the financial subcommittees, which involves both the airlines as well as the airport. Meet with them to go over these proposed rates and charges. What you have before you is a 2.3% increase in billings for the next fiscal year. And with this 2.3% rate increase, I might add that we continue to be among the lowest airports in the country. In fact, out of our 13 peer large hub airports, we are the third lowest in terms of cost per enplane passenger.
All right, thank you very much, Danny. Any questions from the council for our aviation administration? All right, roll call.
Mayor, I'm
Oh,
sorry,
please.
I don't have a
Councilman
question.
Valenzuela,
just-
please.
Not a question, but just a comment. And when I had my briefing on this particular item, I asked a few questions and also was reminded that Sky Harbor carries the highest bond rating given in the aviation industry. And that has to do with the effective governing and managing of our airport. And this rate increase, obviously very modest. It keeps the Sky Harbor Airport still up among the, as Danny mentioned, the lowest cost in the country. And the proposed rates were also developed in consultation with the airlines and supported by the airlines as well. So it is, it's appropriate, and I second the motion. I'm obviously supportive of it.
Thank you very much, Councilman. Roll call.
DeCiccio.
No.
Gallego.
Yes.
Gates.
Yes.
Noakowski.
Yes.
Pastor.
Yes.
Valenzuela.
Yes.
Williams.
Yes.
Waring. Mayor Stanton.
Yes, the item passes on a 7-2 vote of the City Council. Next item is item number 16, dealing with financial literacy education and investment advisory services. City Clerk, please read the title.
Ordinance G 5918, an ordinance amending Chapter 2 of the Phoenix City Code by amending Article 35, Section 2-1504A5, to require the Phoenix Employees Deferred Compensation Board to provide financial literacy, education, and participant-level investment advisory services for employees, and amending Article 39, Section 2-1522, to require the Post-Employment Health Plan Board to provide financial literacy, education, and participant-level investment advisory services for employees.
Do we have a motion on item number 16?
Move to approve item 16.
Second.
A motion and a second. Any comments? Roll call.
DeCiccio.
Yes.
Gallego.
Yes.
Gates.
Yes.
Noakowski. Pastor.
Yes.
Valenzuela.
Yes.
Williams.
Yes.
Waring.
Yes.
Mayor Stanton.
Yes, item passed unanimously. Item 17 is proposal to amend City Code, secondhand dealers and auction houses. City Clerk, please read the title.
Ordinance G 5919, an ordinance relating to secondhand dealers and auction houses, amending Chapter 19 Phoenix City Code by amending Sections 19-40 to require electronic reporting and 19-42 Phoenix City Code to exempt secondhand books, magazines, handbills, or posters dealers from the reporting requirement.
Mayor, I would move approval. This is something we've been working on for over 4 years, and I know that there are many members of the public that have really wanted this to happen much sooner. I commend the staff for being so thorough and think this is an excellent way to address our issues when it comes to secondhand facilities.
Second.
We have a motion. We have a second. Any comments, members of the council? Roll call.
DeCiccio.
Yes.
Gallego.
Yes.
Gates.
Yes.
Noakowski.
Yes.
Pastor.
Yes.
Valenzuela.
Yes.
Williams.
Yes.
Waring.
No.
Mayor Stanton.
Yes, the item passes 8-1. Next item on the agenda is item number 18, which is a proposal to amend the city code to deal with our solid waste ordinance, including giving legal authority to proceed with our pay-as-you-throw program, as well as green organic. City Clerk, would you please read the title?
Ordinance G 5920, an ordinance amending Chapter 27 of the Phoenix City Code pertaining to solid waste by adding Section 27-27, establishing the Residential Contained Green Organics Program, making conforming and clarifying changes, and providing for an effective date of July 7th, 2014.
Mayor, may I ask a question, please?
Councilwoman, you may.
Either to the city manager or to staff, where it says separate fee structure published by the department, are there changes to that? And if so, how come they weren't presented to us?
Mr. Gio?
Mayor, members of the council, Councilwoman Williams, the structure that you're reading there is related to our special type of collection, which relates to, as an example, City Hall would be considered a special collection, and those rates are different depending on the size of the container and also how often we collect that particular container. These are really, what you're reading there is non-residential type fees.
You're not changing where you have that description? You're not changing the rates for multiple dwellings, for government facilities, or specialized collections?
That's correct.
Okay. Thank you very much, Mayor.
Thank you very much, Councilwoman Williams. Do we have any other questions on this item? Questions or comments? We have a motion on the table yet. Do you want to put a motion on?
Yeah.
Okay, please, Councilman Gates.
Yeah, motion to approve.
We have a motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
We do have a second. Councilman Gates.
Thank you, Mayor. I'm going to be supportive of this item. I think it's absolutely headed in the right direction to achieve the goals that have been set by the mayor and council with regard to diverting items from our landfill. Couple questions, though. First of all, a comment. There was a proposal to significantly change our bulk trash system in the city of Phoenix. There was a lot of discussion at the subcommittee level, and the decision was made to kind of go back and take some more public input on that. I support that decision. I think that's smart. People like bulk trash right now in the city of Phoenix, so, you know, before we make some radical changes to it, we want to make sure that we get out in the community and get input in it. The second, the comment, I guess, in question that I have is, now, adding the third can, we may have people in our city with 3 cans. And for those people who don't live in a neighborhood with a homeowners association who sort of, you know, polices those cans, if not everybody rolls that can right back in as soon as the trash trucks leave. So I would, and I'd raise this at the subcommittee as well, to look at, you know, the possibility of the city of Phoenix regulating that. When, you know, people have 3 cans out in front of their house, it can become sort of a visual blight. So I wanted to kind of reaffirm that request, and that Public Works could look at that particular issue.
Mayor, Councilman Gates, the staff is aware of that concern, and it was raised at the subcommittee, and we will be researching what the different opportunities are to update our ordinances regarding how we deal with that challenge out in the community.
Because
so we'll come back to subcommittee and the full council sometime in the fall with a recommendation on that.
Because, Mayor, just to clarify, make sure I have this right. Right now, there's nothing that if someone leaves their cans out on the curb, there's nothing that the city of Phoenix can do about that at this point?
That's correct.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you very much. Councilwoman Gallego.
One of the items in here is we're looking at fees for people who request a second 90-gallon solid waste can, and it looks like we're giving them a discount on the second one. Could you tell us? It's listed at $13.40 per container for customer requested additional 90-gallon solid waste container.
That's always been in the fee structure. That has not changed. That's staying the same. So if they request an additional garbage container, they pay half of the $26.80, which is $13.40. So that hasn't changed. That will remain the same.
It just seems to constitute a little bit of a subsidy for people who are using the service excessively and an incentive away from conservation.
Yes, we tried to make the fee to account for the service that's being provided. And that's why we were hoping that they would get rid of that second container and go to the 10 container at a lower cost. So we're hoping there's an incentive to do that, because that extra garbage container gets taken to the landfill.
Mayor and Councilwoman Gallego, just to also address the costs and the charge issue, going out to somebody's house and collecting 2 containers is less expensive than going out to 2 different houses. And so there's a little bit of efficiency in that process if you're picking up 2 containers versus 1. And so I think we're trying to charge the cost to the system and not make it, not overcharge them for that service.
Other questions? Any other comments or questions by a member of this council? I'm glad this day is finally here, and we're moving forward with this very important program. We had adopted some very ambitious goals. We used to call 40 by 20, and I guess we changed the name to Reimagine Phoenix, but the goal is the same, is to get a lot more out of the landfills into recycling, take advantage of green organics, which the city can actually make some money off of because there is a marketplace for that. So this is both good for the environment, good government, good efficiency. Yes, there will still be, I'm sure, slight changes over time as we learn once we implement that program. We're giving the people of the city of Phoenix options on the size of their garbage can, now the options for green organics in a more efficient, easy, accessible way that they wouldn't have before. And I am confident that the people of the city of Phoenix are going to take full advantage of this. And I'm excited that we're finally at this point. I know it won't all be rolled out as once. There's a reason why we're not having a big to-do about this, because it will be rolled out over time in different neighborhoods. But I am certainly heartened to see that we are getting started on this very important program. This is not Phoenix leading the way. This is another one where we're probably catching up to a lot of our competitor cities on the issue of sustainability or offering green organics and taking advantage of that program. But it's time that we do so, and I'm glad that we're taking this very important step, assuming the council votes in the affirmative on this item. Any other comments by members of this council? Roll call.
DeCiccio.
Yes.
Gallego.
Yes.
Gates.
Yes.
Nowakowski.
Yes.
Pastor.
Yes.
Valenzuela.
Yes.
Williams.
Yes.
Waring. Yes. Mayor Stanton.
Yes, the item passes unanimously in the City Council. Next item is S ordinances and resolutions. Mr. City Clerk, are we ready for ordinances and resolutions? Okay. You know what, real quick, I apologize. Leonard Clark, you did want to provide testimony on that last item on this proposed solid waste ordinance. I apologize. Please provide that testimony.
Thank you. Well, someone just invoked Jesus, so I hope if Jesus is here that he do supports the thing that you just did. It's all right, Mayor. Mistakes happen. I wouldn't purposely cut you off either.
Apologize.
Anyways, I just think it's important because some people say, well, am I going to be forced to put the container out? No, it's voluntary, and being that we also had higher readings not far from where I live in District 1, in a very nice district, thanks to our council lady there, doing a great job running that district, but they have had higher temperature readings in our dump, indicating that there could be a fire. Now federal experts are saying deep inside the methane gases and all these chemicals inside the dump, they think there's not a fire, but my point being, Mayor and Council, that the more of these waste materials we can diversify from our dump, the better. So I thank you, and I thank Jesus too for hopefully supporting this.
All right. Thank you for that testimony. And in advance, your prayers were answered because we voted yes on the item. All right, Mr. City Clerk, are we ready for ordinances and resolutions?
Yes, Mayor. We have cards on items 25, 57, 65, 68 through 72, 82, 96, and 111.
All right. Vice Mayor?
I move that
With that,
items-
we have a motion.
I do. I move that items 19 through 111, being ordinances numbered S-4075, S-4083-7 through S-4092-7, and the resolution 21-22-9 be adopted, except items 25, 31, 50, 55, 57, 65, 68 through 72, 80, 82, 85, 96, 109, and 111. And noting that item 19 was withdrawn and replaced with item 72, and item 58 is requested to be withdrawn and excluding, and then we've got the items for comment.
I have cards in for 20 and 21.
Could we pull item 20 and
All right.
21 in addition?
Items, excluding items 20 and 21.
Mr. Vin also has cards in on 30, 51, and 56. Were they pulled as well? Okay, I apologize. So those cards were handed me, so I'll pull also 30, 51, 30, 51,
All right,
56.
we're also pulling 30, was it 51 and 56?
Correct. All right, so we have a motion, the omnibus motion. Do we have a second? Roll call.
DeCiccio.
Yes.
Gallego.
Yes.
Gates.
Yes.
Noakowski.
Yes.
Pastor.
Yes.
Valenzuela.
Yes.
Williams.
Yes.
Waring.
Yes.
Mayor Stanton.
Yes. Next item, Vice Mayor. Is it item
Start
20?
with item 20. Yep.
All right, item 20 is the payment ordinances. Do we have a motion on item number 20?
I move item number 20.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Mr. Vint, did you wish to provide testimony on item number 20, the proposed payment ordinance on this week's agenda? Up to 2 minutes, please.
Yes, I do want to speak on this item 20. It goes through the alphabet twice and starts into B again. Now that's a whole lot of money going out. $26,798,914 and a nickel. Now, if there's anybody on this counter or this council up here, plus you, the mayor and the city manager, think that all these things are correct, you got another thinker coming. There's a problem with this because not too long ago, a city employee was confiscating money. Nothing was done. Maybe reprimanded, slapped on the hand a little bit. And then we have a city prosecutor here today, Aaron Carrion. He only prosecutes citizens. If every one of these were wrong and somebody was stealing from the city, nothing would happen to them because they're a city employee. And they're never held accountable or responsible for anything. And it's proven beyond any doubt that when we had Frank Fairbanks, city manager, and David Cavazos, and now we got Ed Zerker. But in my time, going way back to Frank Fairbanks and Paul Johnson sitting in a seat that you were sitting in, he was a tall dude, 6'6" or something, and there's pictures of him.
Pat, I got to bring you back to the item. The item is the payment ordinance on today's agenda. There's plenty to choose from on that, but you got to keep your comments on the payment ordinance. Mayor Johnson's height is not on the agenda today.
But he is tall.
Well, when he was, it was a disaster. And today that you're up there, it's another disaster. You don't have any idea about all of these, the alphabet going through twice. There's no way that you could know that, and there's no way that Ed Zerker knows that. There's no way that the city
Mr. Vint,
attorney knows
we
that.
appreciate your testimony very much. Are there any other cards on this agenda item? Roll call.
Mayor, I have a question.
Councilman Valenzuela, Noakowski, excuse me, I apologize.
On AY, the noise reduction program, do we still have that program going around? I thought with all the funding was,
Mayor, Councilman DeCiccio, the noise reduction program is winding up, but there are still properties in the pipeline, and so they will continue to come through for about the next year, I believe, Ms. Fisher. I'll ask the Assistant Aviation Director to clarify that.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Mayor, council members, Tammy Fisher, Assistant Aviation Director. We have sunsetted the program. There are 3 properties still to get council approval for acquisition, and then we will continue to pay relocation costs over the next couple of years before the program is completely closed out. So there is still funding available to complete the program.
ready?
Thank you very much. Do you want to pull that item to vote on separately, AY?
No, that's fine.
Okay. All right, any other comments, questions? Roll call.
DeCiccio.
Yes.
Gallego.
Yes.
Gates.
Yes.
Noakowski.
Yes.
Pastor.
Yes.
Valenzuela.
Yes.
Williams.
Yes.
Waring.
Yes.
Mayor Stanton.
Yes. Next item is item number 21, which is a proposed acquisition of 3 occupied residential properties for the Community Noise Reduction Program. Mr.
Move
Vice
item
Mayor?
21.
We have a motion on 21. We have a second. Mr. Vint, up to 2 minutes on 21. This is acquisition of 3 properties for the Community Noise Reduction Program.
Now, I have the same problem here on item 21. It looks like all of these people here, and I can look all these up on my computer at home because I can look up anything. All these people probably were under the glide path or the takeoff of the airport, and it was noisy. So the city of Phoenix ends up owning all this property. Now you're not paying taxes. You got to do something different. You can't just let money lay around and waste it. It's time to get efficient. And then we wouldn't be bankrupt. And you know that the city of Phoenix is bankrupt. Just the spiking of the pension alone is going to do that. That's not covered. But getting back to this item, all of these people probably got other property somehow, and we, the people, the citizens, again, that you don't seem to give a damn about. All we got to do is pay the bills. We don't get a chance to speak on things. You've restricted us to only speak on 5 items at a time. And I suggested before that why don't we fill up these seats with Boy Scouts and Girl Scouts? I'll pay the bus fare for them. I don't give a damn how far away it is, but you got to get people down here to see what's happening to the city of Phoenix. That nice emblem up there again, that Phoenix emblem bird rising out of the ashes, it's settling back in. So I just hope that we get together here and sooner or later respect the citizens in this city, which you're not now. Every time you turn around, you come up with a different idea of how to hurt the citizens, and that's a fact. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Vint. Any comments by members of this council? Roll call.
DeCiccio.
Yes.
Gallego.
Yes.
Gates.
Yes.
Noakowski.
Yes.
Pastor.
Yes.
Valenzuela.
Yes.
Williams.
Yes.
Waring.
Yes.
Mayor Stanton.
Yes. Next item on the agenda, I believe, is 28. Is that correct, Vice?
25.
25. I apologize.
Move item 25.
We have a motion and a second on 25. Contract to perform financial audits for the city. Ms. Greta Rogers, you have testimony on this item. Good to see you. Up to 2 minutes.
This is authorizing Grant Thornton, a nationally recognized accounting auditing firm, to do what it says here without specifying terms except a total price of $495. Are we going to get assessed or complete audits? They're not going to give you a complete audit on all this stuff for $495K. Even Walmart wouldn't give you that. My concern here, though, is specifically it refers in the last sentence of the last paragraph, the Phoenix Parks and Preserve Initiative Program. This program has, as you guys well know, been of poignant interest to me, a couple of other members, for the past year because of misappropriation and use of funds. In the initiative, it says there shall be an annual audit. The first audit ever done was last year. This became effective 1/1/99, renewed 1/1/09. First audit, and it's an assessed audit, and I have it. You have violated the terms of the initiative. I recommend that you look into this and that the initiative is followed to the letter. It's a tax initiative that the voters passed who voted on it by a plurality of 70+% both times. Do things correctly or wait until you're ready to do them correctly. That's how you do the city business for the citizens who pay for this.
Thank you very much, Ms. Rogers. Did we already have a motion on it?
Yes.
We have a motion. We have a second. Roll call.
DeCiccio.
Yes.
Gates.
Yes.
Gallego.
Yes.
Noakowski.
Yes.
Pastor.
Yes.
Valenzuela.
Yes.
Williams.
Yes.
Waring.
Yes.
Mayor Stanton.
Yes, item passed unanimously. Next item, Vice Mayor.
Move item 30.
We have a motion for 30. You have a second?
Second.
The motion is second. This is a speed hump installation contract. Mr. Vint, the floor is yours, up to 2 minutes.
Yes, I am Pat Finn again, and I hope that you're listening, because this is a disaster. Requests are authorized city manager or his designee. He could sign anybody to this. He wouldn't have any idea what they're doing. Because go on the next page, page 56 at the top, this contract is for speed humps installation on a needed basis. Now, up where I live, 8340 North 16th Street is right up to Butler. We had a nice wide road there for all these years. And then the development services screwed up and directed the floodwater straight down. And then on top of that, they went down there where they caused a flood on El Camino and put curbs and gutters out in the middle of the street. Now that's got to be changed, or I'm going to go down there with my own equipment and tear it out of there. Now, we don't need speed humps anymore on 16th Street. You can't speed anyway. You get halfway up there, you got to stop, let a bus, school bus, a truck or a car, and then the people remodeling those houses on the west side, they put a big dumpster out there. So that leaves about 15 feet of street where we should have had 60 feet wide. Now how the planning and development or whoever created this stupidity wasted a lot of money, and now they're going to have to pay to take it out. They didn't do the proper procedure to inform us that they're going to give away all that property. And the poor guy that lives on the east side of the street happens to be, well, I won't say what nationality. He's afraid of you people. He said, please don't mention my name, so I won't. But you know where he lives. They screwed him, and they give it because there happen to be two big palm trees in the street on the east side. Now, you're shaking your head up there, but I think it's time that I request that something be done. I'm not coming down here just because I like to come see you guys. I'm coming down here, I'm trying to get your attention.
I appreciate that very much, Mr. Vint, but your time is up on this item. So the item on the agenda now is a motion in favor of the speed hump installation. I think, Mr. Vint, I appreciate that very much. Mr. Manager, maybe someone from Streets could talk to him about the speed hump issue on 16th Street that he mentioned. But right now we have to vote on the speed hump installation contract. We have a motion. We have a second. Roll call.
DeCiccio.
Yes.
Gallego.
Yes.
Gates.
Yes.
Nowakowski.
Yes.
Pastor.
Yes.
Valenzuela.
Yes.
Williams.
Yes.
Waring.
Yes.
Mayor Stanton.
Yes. Next item, Vice Mayor.
Move approval, item 31.
And I have a question.
We have a motion and a second. Councilwoman Gallego has a question on item 31.
Item 31 is related to crane repairs, and during our budget hearing, we had an employee come and mention that we had cranes that he said we only use a few hours a year, and so I wanted to be diligent about following up on our employee suggestions for efficiencies and make sure that we are reviewing the crane program and looking if we have cranes that one department could share with another, or if there are any efficiencies as we move forward in this expenditure for $375,000 on crane repairs.
Do you want to continue this items and get a full briefing and a report from the city management on that very important issue, efficiency of our crane usage?
Unless it has a simple answer, that would be fabulous.
Mayor, Councilman Gallego, yes, continuance to June 4th, and we will brief you and any others who would like that.
Second.
Okay, so I think that would be appropriate, and I thank you for asking the question. So we have a motion to continue this item to June 4th. Do we have a second?
Second.
Motion and a second, and obviously city manager is offering to give anyone else the same briefing about efficient use of our cranes department by department. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Passes unanimously. Next item, Vice Mayor.
Move approval, item 50.
We have a motion, item 50. Do we have a second? Second. Councilman Gallego, do you have a potential conflict on this item?
Mayor, I'd like to declare a potential conflict.
Councilman Gallego has declared a potential conflict and will not be voting on the item. Roll call.
DeCiccio.
Yes.
Gates.
Yes.
Nowakowski. Yes. Pastor.
Yes.
Valenzuela.
Yes.
Williams.
Yes.
Waring.
Yes.
Mayor Stanton.
Yes, item passed unanimously. Next item, Vice Mayor.
Move approval, item 51.
We have a motion on 51. Do we have a second?
Second.
Mr. Vint, the item on the that's currently up to be discussed is an acceptance and dedication of a deed and easements for public use at various locations throughout the city of Phoenix. Did you wish to provide up to 2 minutes of testimony on the acceptance and dedication of deed and easements for public use? Please.
Yes, I am Pat Ben again, and I guess you can tell that in my 83 years, I've done a thing or two. And I'm getting damn tired of always paying for the city mistakes. No one's accountable, no one's responsible. But this 51 easements for public use, I've had to do that. I've had to change the easement behind my shopping center on the south side of Northern from 13th to 14th Street. And all we've had is trouble ever since. Now I got another problem. In the early 80s, when I changed the alley to an easement, I had to go to all those neighbors across the way, 12 of them I think it was, get them to donate their half of the alley to me. And then we could come down here and get it approved that it's going to be an easement now so we could service the back of our shopping center. All it's been is a damn disaster ever since. They've tried to close it up again 3 times. Just because you're after me, then I sell the shopping center to a friend of mine. Now they're picking on him. It's cost thousands and thousands of dollars. And now on the east end on 14th Street in Northern, that part was dedicated to me, and I never give it up. Now, the guy on the lot 3 on Northern, I think it's 1379, wants to sell that, and they say, well, he can't sell it because you still have that piece of property back there. Well, certainly I do. That cost me thousands of dollars, a couple of years of my time. Maybe that's why I'm 83 years old and I haven't died yet. I think this is good for me. And I think what I'm going to do, I'm going to live to be 103. That's another 20 years. I'll be down here every week. But it's time that you hold people accountable and responsible for what you're doing.
Thank you very much, Mr. Vint, for providing that testimony. On item 51, we have a motion and a second, and now we will have a roll call vote.
DeCiccio.
Yes.
Gallego.
Yes.
Gates. Nowakowski.
Yes.
Pastor.
Yes.
Valenzuela.
Yes.
Williams.
Yes.
Waring.
Yes.
Mayor Stanton.
Yes. Next item, Vice Mayor.
Move for approval item 55.
We have a motion. Do we have a second
Second.
on 55? Do we have any cards on 55?
It's sad.
I apologize.
I thought that's what I had.
Councilman DeCiccio, did you have comments relative to?
Well, I didn't have any comments. I had more along the lines of concern, Mayor. With Buck Consulting, they're the same firm that was hired to do the pension initiative that I believe that the city's going to end up moving forward. I'll just give you at least a speculation from my end. This group was hired on. I understand what they're here for on the Medicaid part of it, the Medicare part of it. But it's the same group, and it's the same concerns that I've had, is that the labor groups are working with, members of the council here, and there's concern that they're going to be putting together their own initiative to go against the citizen-driven initiative, and I've got concerns about that. And this organization, I believe, is going to be a part of that. And until I'm proven wrong, I'm not going to be supporting this company or the direction that the city's going in with this company.
Mayor, can I ask a question?
Councilwoman Williams, please.
Based on the councilman's comments, if we had a contract with them, can they get involved in any way in helping the employee unions with a petition? I mean, wouldn't that terminate the contract?
Mayor, Councilman Williams, Buck Consulting was procured by the city to do some pension consulting on a separate RFP, separate group of folks. That is consulting for us. I don't know that they're doing anything for anyone outside the city, and if they were, I think we would have some say about it.
Let me ask a question of staff, Mayor.
Just a moment. Councilman Williams, do you have additional questions?
No, I'm
Their work for us is to give us advice on pension.
correct.
That's separate. This is to continue
But
to give us.
this one is on,
This is totally separate. They give us advice on extremely complicated healthcare benefits, programs for our employees and our retirees. Specifically in this, they're giving, the majority of this is to give us advice on a Medicare Part D program that will save millions of dollars for our retirees.
Correct.
It's completely separate from anything related to pension.
Okay.
Councilwoman? Okay, thank you. Councilman Nowakowski, and then I'll go back to Councilman DeCiccio. Councilman Nowakowski, you have questions?
Now, is this firm a political firm, or is it, or is there something in the contract that they can't run a campaign against one of our bills that are targeting the city of Phoenix or so? Or that they can't work with one of our unions or worker groups? Is there anything in the contract that states that?
You have the question? I apologize, please.
Mayor,
Lionel, whoever's going to answer.
Yeah.
Mr. City Manager, please.
Mayor, Councilman DeCiccio,
Thank you.
our HR Director Lionel Lyons and Deputy Director Mary Kyle can address questions about the contract.
Mayor and Council, I don't believe there's anything in the contract that would allow them to have a relationship with one of our bargaining groups or to have some kind of business that they would do outside of the scope of what their contract with us is.
And the other thing is that if it's all public record, anyone can actually use the information that this group has gathered for the city of Phoenix, including reporters, anyone.
Yeah, that is right, Councilman.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Councilman DeCiccio, do you have additional questions?
I do. I've got a very simple question to ask the staff, since it's the same company that was hired to do the pension reform. It's the same one that goes in the same pot, same company. And this is a direct question to staff. Is there any thought, any contemplation of putting a counter initiative or a counter proposal on the ballot to compete with the pension reform proposal that was citizen driven? That's a question of staff. And if they answer no, there's no thought of it, no contemplation of it, I'll vote for this.
Okay. Mr. City Manager, I don't know if you have an answer to that question, please.
Sure they do. They have to answer it. I asked it.
Mayor.
Councilman, I apologize. I was addressing the question to the City Manager.
Mayor, Councilman DeCiccio, staff has no direction at this point for anything on the ballot. We have
At this point, but there's no discussion, no contemplation of putting another alternative proposal on the ballot to compete with the pension reform question that's on the ballot.
Anything related to that would be a direction from the council to us to do that. There has been no direction from the council for us to.
I didn't ask for direction. Has there been any discussion about doing that? Any contemplation means a discussion. Has anyone even thought about it? Has anyone even brought it up to you?
Well, I think there's lots of conversations about the pension initiative on the ballot. So I think, I don't know what all conversations have been out there.
Well, I'm not asking about all conversations. I said, have you heard of anything? I mean, this is a simple yes or no question. Have you heard of anything yourself of putting any other counter proposal to compete with a citizen-driven initiative?
Okay, so I'm going to allow the City Manager to answer the question in any way he sees.
It's a simple yes or no.
He sees fit. Councilman, the questions are directed at me, and I'll ask the City Manager, but I'll allow him to answer the question in the way that he best sees fit. It's not an interrogation. Obviously, it's a professional.
Well, it's not an interrogation, but it's a simple question. It's not a complicated one. It shouldn't require a lot of machinations here, Mayor.
Thank you very much, Councilman. I appreciate the nature of what you're trying to get at, but I'm also going to use my judgment as the mayor to allow the City Manager to answer the question the way he best sees fit.
Okay,
Mayor,
if you can answer it then.
Mayor, Councilman DeCiccio, I hear lots of things. I have heard people talk about other ideas for the ballot. However, there's no direction to do that. So at this point, whatever conversations there may be don't have any direction for us to complete. But we are talking to Buck on separate from this item. Buck is giving us advice on pension, on our city pension.
Right, and the concern I've got, okay, what I'm hearing here, and I want to make sure I hear it very clearly, is that there really isn't any intention to move forward with another counter proposal because it would only be done in a matter of weeks anyways. So I'll end up voting for this, Mayor. I just hope that staff wasn't leading me down the wrong path here.
Now, Mayor.
I can only say that, Councilman, that if you're talking about additional items that may be on the ballot, now that this item has qualified for the ballot, things like elimination of 13 check, et cetera. I think staff is providing some analysis about what the cost savings would be. And if you have any other questions that you'd like analyzed, I think that's very appropriate for you to do so. And any member of the council can ask questions of our professional staff to work with our consultants to try to come up with the what the cost would be, pro or either more expensive or less expensive of any additional pension reform that this council may want to look at. So
well, Mayor, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, go.
I can't tell who's talking.
No, go ahead.
Well, my concern is that we have a very labor-dominated council, mayor and council here, and they're going to come in and push their way around, and they're going to put a competing issue on the ballot. And staff answered it well. Okay, I'm fine with it now. They're telling me that they don't have any intentions, and they really haven't heard of anything moving forward with a proposal. I just hope they're telling me the truth, and we'll see in about a few weeks.
Mayor, some clarification really
Okay,
quick.
so